හරි. ඉතින් මගේ channel එකත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා මම Apple related development එහෙම නැත්නම් Apple ecosystem එකේ development වලට ගොඩක් involve වෙනවා කියලා. ඉතින් අද මම ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ UK වල Foxconn වලට SwiftCraft කියන conference එකට. ඉතින් මට අවස්ථාව ලැබුණා මේ conference එකේ Vision OS app development සම්බන්ධ workshop එකකුත් කරන්න. ඉතින් ඊට අමතරව මම මේ workshop එකට ආපු ගොඩක් අනිත් engineers ලගෙන් සහ developers ලගෙන් පොඩ්ඩක් ඒගොල්ලොත් එක්ක කතා කරා. ඉතින් මම හිතුවා මම මේ කතා කරපු දේවල් ටිකක් කැමරා එකත් එක්ක කතා කරලා ඔයාලත් එක්ක share කරගන්න. ඉතින් මෙතනින් එහාට මේ වීඩියෝ එකේ සමහර sounds වල ප්‍රශ්න ඇති සමහරට මොකද මම හදිස්සියේ record කරපු නිසා. ඉතින් බලන්න ඔයාලට යමක් ගන්න තියෙනවා නම් වැදගත් වෙයි කියලා මම හිතනවා. ඉතින් අපි මේ දේකත් එකතු කරගමු. Alright, so here I'm right now with Peter Price. So he's coming from Google and the Firebase team. Thank you, Peter, joining with me today. So I'm in Asia, Peter. So a lot of, especially Sri Lankan viewers, because a lot of viewers from my channel is Sri Lankan. So the developers are really willing to join a company like Google. Mm-hmm. So just explain me like how you joined to the Google and how that journey.
Yeah. Hey everyone. So what I did was I got really lucky, I think.
Okay. But not everyone.
And there was also great resistance, of course. So what I did was I moved to London with another company, and once I updated my LinkedIn profile, I got a lot of inbound LinkedIn contact requests from recruiters. Oh. And one of them was from Google, and she said, hey, I've got an interesting job, you might be interested. Would you like to hear more? And I was like, I don't know if I'll be any good, if I will pass the interview, or if they pay enough, or if it's actually the right job. Yeah. And then I thought, oh yeah, there is nothing I have to do. So I tried it, and then back then the interview process was like you had 5 interviews. First a phone screen, and then when you pass that, it's 5 interviews on site, back to back with a short lunch break in between.
Even the technical and the...
Yeah, so it's 45 minutes one-on-one with your interviewer, and it actually wasn't an office. I actually had to code on the wall, and and design stuff. And the job I ended up doing was developer advocate on the Google Plus team. Mm-hmm. And one of the interview questions was like, can you design an algorithm for finding all the friends of my friends, right? So the interviewer asked obviously for something that he also had been working on. And that was how I got into Google.
Yeah, to join into the Google company like Google and like the Fortune 500 companies. But Peter luckily got that chance, and also Peter, like especially, so you are working on like a lot of iOS and the SwiftCraft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So even inside the Firebase team, so one is like especially a lot of Asians are thinking like like the Android and Google are like totally separate things and all. So like being a iOS developer inside the Firebase team, like how do you feel and all?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a self-confessed iOS fanboy, and I've always tried to work on iOS stuff. Even on the first team I worked on, I did iOS stuff, and then at one point there was an opening on the Firebase team, and they specifically looked for someone who is interested in doing iOS and TypeScript stuff. Yeah. So they wanted to have front end and back end stuff, and I was like, yeah, that is me, right? Yeah. And that was in 2019, and that was the year when Swift UI came out, and I was like, how great would it be to bring those two together, right? A UI framework that makes it easy to build UIs, and then a backend framework that makes it easy to build services. And so I applied to the team, said, I'm based in Europe, would you be happy to have somebody who's in a completely different time zone to work together with you? And they were like, yeah, totally, we're happy to have you. And then one of the first things I did was I met with all the people on the team, and I asked them, so what do you think I should be working on? And I asked David East, who's one of our DAs who's focusing on the web, and I asked him, so do you think I should do more web development, or is it okay if I do iOS? And he's like, no, mate, you actually, that's your niche. That's your unfair advantage, because you are in the community, you like it, you love it, so you should focus on that. And that was probably one of the best pieces of career advice I've ever gotten.
Okay, so apart from like the language and all those things, like so a lot of people think, like a lot of developers, like since Google back to the Flutter and Dart language, so their majority of applications developed by using Flutter and Dart. Is that true, or like what sort of a statement you can give about that?
I've talked a lot about cross-platform development before I joined Google, and I think there are good reasons for using Flutter and Dart and those cross-platform toolkits. It's really easy to get started. It's really easy to build something and have it running on both platforms. But obviously, native code has also its advantages, right? So a cross-platform framework will always have to play catch-up, right? And Flutter is really well maintained, and there is a strong team behind it and a really strong community. They are pretty quick to catch up, right? But there's still like a little gap. So if you want to work on the bleeding edge, then maybe consider using native development. But if you need to get an app out really quick and you just really want to implement it once, then for sure using a cross-platform toolkit is the right choice.
All right. Thanks for joining with me today, Peter.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks. All right. See you.
Yeah.
See you then.
Bye.
All right. So here now I'm with Mohommad Azam. So everybody's into the iOS development. If you are coming to the Udemy platforms, a couple of tutorials, maybe YouTube, you might have seen him. So thank you, Azam, joining with me today.
Thank you so much.
So a lot of people who watching my channel, so they wanted to start their career as a developer. So as a content creator, as a teacher, so what sort of advice you can give them to for like newcomers?
Yeah, if you're coming new to iOS development, make sure that your foundations are strong, because those things don't really change. And by foundations, I mean you know how to write a loop and if conditions and what is let and var and all those functions and closures and everything in those cases. And now when you want to talk about you want to become a content creator, consistency is very, very important. And you don't have to buy like a $5,000 microphone to get started. I mean, you will be surprised to hear that I use Apple earpods,
Really?
like those the wired white ones, for all of my 50+ courses and thousands of hours. So you don't really need $5,000 mic to record anything. Just your first video, the first course or first video you're gonna create, it's not gonna be good, that's fine. But you just have to keep going, learn from your previous videos, and just keep pushing out content every week at least.
So that's for the content wise, like and also so you have experience in like indie development side as well, so like getting contract and all these things.
Yes.
So what you can say for the like being an individual developer and so getting a project and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, for indie developer, you must have some sort of a portfolio online, and also obviously you should have like connections to connect with the client. So if you don't have portfolio, nobody knows like what kind of apps you can build. You should have at least a couple of apps on the App Store also, so people know how to you know how to push the apps and what's the whole process. Apart from that, it's all about networking, how to network with other people, going to conferences like right now at SwiftCraft, but you go to conferences, talk to people, and then it all comes down to like what you are trying to deliver, and then it's like different concepts like hourly billing, value billing, or fixed size billing. But I think if you're starting out, you should start with hourly billing, and then once you gain more experience, then you can go for different kind of things. And make sure you take part in open source projects. So that's always good.
Okay, so apart from these things, like any wishes and any expectation on WWDC and related to the frameworks as well?
I think for me, I've been working with Swift Data a lot, and I can see a lot of, it's a new framework, so I see a lot of holes in the framework right now with relationships and how migrations work and all that. So hopefully they will fix those things in the future. Swift UI is definitely getting improvements and improvement with every single release. So obviously we're going to be looking at a lot more maybe controls for Swift UI. They introduced like charting control last time, observable, and excited about Swift 6, although it's going to break some stuff, but we have to take that pill and
work out that as well, right? All right, so thank you, Sam. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, so here right now I'm with Lbrahima. So I met him a couple of times in the previous conferences as well. So Lbrahima, so how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Just finishing my presentation.
Yes,
my talk.
yes,
So
yes.
yeah.
All right,
pretty
so
good.
so my speakers, my viewers might wanted to know about like the development. Regarding the WWDC is like on the edge because we have like couple of weeks for the WWDC now.
Mhm.
So what's your wish list on WWDC this year?
So my wish list, like, you do have amazing tools right now, but like I was saying in my presentation, maybe I would love to see a replacement of Swift syntax in order to write macro, because Swift syntax is really difficult to grasp.
Yeah.
And I think Apple should definitely make it more accessible to developers from any level in order to write their own macro, right?
Yeah.
So for now, Swift syntax is kind of difficult to
Especially
for,
testing as well.
especially, and having some tools that streamline the testing of macros, because as you may see, if you introduce just like a character in your macro, in your test macro, it's gonna fail,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, you should have definitely better tools for testing macros.
Apart from that one, so what kind of features and things that you're expecting?
Maybe
Maybe new frameworks or maybe new any APIs?
yeah. So I think the new APIs will be like focused on AI, because I know that Apple is working somehow on announcing something big about AI, because all the competition already did.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is really exciting to discover what they have cooked for us developers to use in the AI field. Apart from that, I love to see some performance improvement when it comes to Swift UI, especially for long list, long data set. Right. So I think for now we have to back to UI kit with UI list view controller in order to handle large data set. But it will be good for us to have some performance booster when using list.
All right.
UI.
Okay, so this is something apart from the Swift and all those things, because a lot of my viewers might like to jump into the development, and some of the folks are already developers.
Okay.
So you recently changed something in your life, like regarding your jobs and all those things. Like, what do you think, like being a indie developer and like having some this kind of like community events, like participating in all those things, and how these things improve your development career?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? Like on.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it is. It is not easy. But yeah, while attending to conferences, exposing yourself online, etc., you can get a lot of tractions, right? And that can help in certain way when you are hunting for a job, etc. Because people know you now, and they kind of know what you are capable of doing. I think it is a good thing, like attending conferences, creating a personal brand, which is really important. If you want to maybe land to a software job in the field, or if you want to move, or just helping others, or like trying to understand certain topic. So you'll do some research and try to put something. So yeah, it is definitely good for you, because you can use it as a reference later. And
And also, like, finally, what about the having a portfolio, your own, like as indie developer? Because someone can say like it might be worth it, or sometimes it might not be worth it. So what do you think about like having a good portfolio your own as a indie developer?
Oh, so for my own, I don't have one, to be frank. I'm currently building some apps, right, that will eventually be part of my portfolio. I don't have one, but it can be really beneficial for, especially for beginners,
Beginners, yeah.
right? For junior developers that would like land their first job, right? Having something to show to recruiters or other engineers is really great because they know what you are capable of doing. So yeah, I encourage especially junior developers to come up with their portfolio. And for the portfolio, the tip is don't try to build something extra. You can try to
Maybe
resolve your own problem, right, by building apps for yourself. And
All right. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks.
Anytime.
වෙනදාගේ මතක් කරනවා Apple ecosystem එකේ ඉන්නවා නම් මොන හරි Apple device එකක් පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් ඉස්සරහට මගේ channel එකත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්න අපි ඊළඟ වීඩියෝ එකේ හම්බෙමු.